This was going to be a historic interview. A well-known left-leaning television host had been preparing for weeks for this moment. The goal was clear: to corner Donald Trump, attack him on family values, shake his public image, and create the biggest scandal of his career. Millions of viewers were watching live, waiting to witness this moment. Before the broadcast began, the host turned to her team with a confident nod. She believed this interview would expose Trump's weakest points. When Trump entered the studio, he was calm and composed. He took his seat, leaned back slightly, and locked eyes with the host. "Mr. Trump," the host began, her voice smooth but filled with anticipation. "You've built an empire, led a country, and influenced millions. Would you say your success is simply luck?" A smirk crossed Trump's face. He had seen this setup before. The media always started with an innocent question before launching an attack. "Liberals love the word luck," Trump said, his voice steady. "They use it to downplay hard work, to diminish real effort. But let me tell you something. Luck doesn't build skyscrapers. It doesn't create thousands of jobs. And it certainly doesn't make America great." The host's expression stiffened. This wasn't the answer she was expecting, but she still had time to strike. "So, you're saying your success is purely the result of hard work?" Trump didn't hesitate. "Success belongs to those who earn it. Yes, I've been fortunate, but I've also worked harder than most people can imagine. Sleepless nights, impossible deals, obstacles that would have crushed others. But most importantly, I never did it alone." This was the moment the host had been waiting for. "Not alone?" she said, tilting her head slightly. "Let's talk about that. Let's discuss the people behind Donald Trump." Trump nodded. He knew exactly where this was going. "When you mention those around me, you're probably referring to my business partners and advisors," he said. "But let me tell you who truly deserves recognition: my family. Especially Melania." The host's eyes lit up. This was exactly the topic she had been aiming for. "Ah, yes, Melania," the host said, locking eyes with Trump. "You know, many people wonder about her role. For the wife of such a powerful man, she seems unusually reserved, doesn't she?" Trump's eyes narrowed. "Quiet or dignified? There's a big difference, though I understand why the media struggles to grasp that concept." A ripple of nervous laughter spread through the audience. The host adjusted her posture. She hadn't expected this level of resistance. "What I mean is," she continued, "we rarely hear from her. Unlike other political wives who are far more visible. Don't you think the public deserves to know more about the woman standing beside Donald Trump?" Trump answered without hesitation. "The public already knows exactly what they need to about Melania," he said firmly. "She's intelligent, accomplished, and deliberate in choosing when to speak. Unlike some who feel the need to fill every silence with meaningless chatter." The audience murmured in agreement. The host's polished smile wavered slightly. She could feel the interview slipping from her control. With a forced chuckle, she decided to attack from a different angle. "Then let's talk about her accomplishments," she said, her tone sharper. "Because some might argue, or at least wonder, if her greatest achievement is simply being Mrs. Donald Trump." The room went silent. Trump's expression hardened. Even the cameramen exchanged uneasy glances. "Let me make something very clear," Trump said, his voice like steel. "If we're going to talk about accomplishments, let's stick to the facts. Melania speaks 5 languages. She built her own career. She has represented this country with more grace and dignity than any first lady in recent history. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Because the mainstream media is too busy pushing their own version of events." The host knew she should stop. She knew she was losing, but she wasn't ready to back down. "Well, since we're talking about loyalty," she said, her tone sharpening, "let's be honest about something, Mr. Trump. Considering your wealth, power, and influence, why have you stayed with the same woman for so long? Have you ever thought about being with someone younger? The studio froze. A few gasps echoed through the audience. Trump didn't move. His face remained unreadable. Being with someone younger? He repeated, his voice barely above a whisper, yet carrying an unmistakable weight. Let me explain something about value. He leaned forward slightly, looking directly into the camera. In business, sometimes you look for a better deal, a newer model, a shinier alternative. But this isn't business. This is about my wife, my partner, the mother of my son. Trump paused for a moment before continuing. Some people ask me, have you ever thought about trading up? Let me tell you something. True love is not about upgrading. True love is about a bond that strengthens over time. It's about growing old together, fighting together, winning together. The media doesn't understand that, but I do. And so does Melania. The audience erupted into applause. The host had lost. Trump lifted his head and delivered the final words that would go down in television history. Loyalty is the greatest wealth, and I have the greatest wealth of all. This unforgettable interview was over, but the message would echo for years to come.